But I'm really honored to have you here because what an inspiration, and to have gone what you've gone through and now to have that come full circle and to be doing all that you're doing today. Where to start? There's so much. You are originally from Chicago,
Yes,
correct?
correct.
And you used to be involved in a gang.
Gangs, yes.
And you also were addicted at one time to
drugs.
drugs.
It really didn't matter at the time. You know, it was any and everything that worked. You know, I was pretty bad.
And then you also were arrested. You said like about over 70 times.
Yep, 70 plus.
And even shot twice.
Yes, correct.
And the one time that you were shot, that you even died.
Yes, I did.
So okay, can you tell us a little bit then? Because at the same time, I read that growing up, you with your single mother, you were raised by her and your grandparents, and it was a very loving home.
Very loving home.
So how do you come from that to the place that you did in your life? How can you break down some of that dynamics and help us understand that?
Well, it's big on surrounding. You know, when I grew up in my loving home, you know, it was our family, and that was it. And I went to private school as a child as well. As I got older, I went to a public school, and the public school that I went to was filled with, you know, the gangs and the drugs and the things that you see that you want when you're a child. You know, they had all the $1,000 chains and the coats and the cars and all the things, and I wanted that, you know, and I think unconsciously also I was looking for something to look up to because I didn't have a father, you know, so I think that played a big part in it as well. And so I just gravitated towards that and went full force, and you know, and it shocked my whole family because like we said, it was a loving family, and when I got in, it was like a whirlwind, you know. You don't have to come from that to get stuck in it, you know.
How old were you when you started getting into that?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the turning point in your life, and how old were you? What was it that got you to the place that you needed to turn things around? How did that happen?
Around?
Yeah,
good?
back around for good, for change.
That was, we're going on 7 years now, so that was over 6 years ago. It's being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, like there was several, I went to treatment centers. I did a lot of things like that before I was sick and tired, and none of that actually worked, not because it wasn't good, but because I wasn't ready. And at that point, I became ready, and I either wanted to live for something or just die, because I didn't see a purpose to keep hurting myself and everybody that loved me. And I just remember crying and praying, and then it's like this, it was almost like I could hear the voice telling me what I do now. You know, like, you've got a gift, use it. Like, take your pain and turn it into power. Use it for power to help people. Like, you can be important with what this is, you know. And I just hit the ground running on it, you know. It was like seeing that little piece of light, and I just went running for it, and here I am today. So
can you share some of that process and what some of those challenges were in that recovery process? And
in recovery, it's like construction, literally. It's like demolition and then construction. You know, I had to tear down everything that I had learned and made myself believe was right. You know, my friends, my circles, my way of thinking, which was one of the hardest things to turn around. You know, like, you can change everything else, but your way of thinking it's like embedded after you do it for so long. So I went through drug court, graduated that. That was a really huge help. Before drug court, I was incarcerated for close to a year. And in that time, I read and learned, and every program that there was for me to take, I took it. And I didn't take it just to sit in there and say I took it. I took it to go in there and learn something. Regardless of if none of it pertained to me, I was going to listen, and I was going to apply it to my life, you know, because that's how bad I wanted it. And after hearing, you know, after seeing that light, I knew that that's what I had to do, because that's not what I had done before. So I just used my resources that were available to me and put them to work.
now, obviously, you had hunger for change.
Yes.
The way you're describing it,
Like a
but
lion.
Like a lion. So who are you today, and how would you define yourself today, and how you approach life?
Well, I approach life. My glass is always half full. You know, I look at myself as a beacon of light. You know, I look at myself as somebody who can take all my pain and pour it out onto the world as power and as motivation, as inspiration, as things, as to a breakthrough. You know, like, or that last voice you needed to hear when you just wanted to fall. You know, like, I want to be there to catch them through my voice. You know, and that's how I feel. I am, you know, that's why I put the lion on the cover, because I'm aggressively going for it. You know, it's not just, you know, don't do this, don't do that. Like, I'm laying it all on the table, you know, and in hopes that, you know, if I can reach one, it's great.
And so again, how long have you been clean?
Over 6 years now.
Over 6 years
Yeah.
now. Okay. So some of the things besides the alternative cord and having that accountability and that support, what are some of the other keys? Well, obviously the hunger, and you aggressively went for it, but what are some other suggestions, things you could give to other people that...
A major one is the circle, your circle. Your circle is like the biggest thing, I think, in recovery, because people tend to think just because this person isn't pushing drugs on me, or just because this person doesn't do drugs around me, or they never did anything wrong to me when I was out there doing drugs, so I can still be around them. That fine line tends to pull several people back. It pulled me back several times.
I was just going to ask, was that one of your greatest challenge?
Yes.
In
you know,
this?
and just completely, I mean, sometimes you seem like, you know, people frown at you because of it. Like, well, why are you cutting me off? You know, but you can't. You know, you can't be involved with any of that. You know, like any of those people, anybody that's connected to that, you can't be connected to them. You know, because all that, it can unconsciously send triggers and things that push you back that way. It could be in your dreams. It could be anywhere, you know. So when you look at this person, you know that that's what they do, drugs. So now you're thinking about drugs, regardless of if you want to believe that or not. So circle of your circle is like, that's for me, I always touch on that the biggest, you know, keep your circle tight and clean.
Okay.
And surround yourself with people that are already doing it, you know, and that are, or that have never done it. So you can learn how their way of life. How are you living without ever doing drugs and things of that sort?
Was that something you had to learn? Was how do you have fun? How do you be? You know?
Right.
I know situations where people were, you know, that's what you did. That was your way of life, was using. And then when you got clean, and they got around people that were clean that may have used before or never used before, and it's kind of funny, but it's like, what's the matter with you?
Right.
You know, you're boring, you know, so to speak. So you think, you know.
That's what you think.
And they were kind of kidding around about that, but in a sense, it was like, well, yeah, because, geez, always relied on that substance, and now I don't know how to be anything without that.
Well, with what I do actually now, you know, it's like finding your gift and what you're passionate about, and make that the speed that the drugs were, you know, because anytime, when I went from just when I went from the gang life and things like that, and then to try to slow down and have a job, and that's when I ended up being strung out on drugs, because I went from that crazy, fast, chaotic, every day I could die life to nothing. And then here I still had access to drugs, so I tried that. And then that just sped it all back up again. Even though it was slower, I still sped it up. So then when you stop the drugs, then you got to find a way to, you know, you got to find something. And I think every human being has a gift and a talent, no matter what it is. It could be anything. And I think finding that and putting your all into making that helpful for yourself and others is a good way to...
Yeah, so, which is now what you're doing today with your music, you know, but I want to first go back and how, did you always know, though, even back then, that you did have a little bit of that in you as far as gearing towards music and that ability, or did you not discover that until later, after you've entered recovery in your life?
I knew it was there. My mom, she was really big into music. She used to tour and things like that till she found out she was pregnant with me. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so she's got some background.
Yeah, she's musically inclined too. So, I couldn't write though before. Like when I was writing about the wrong things, I had like 4 songs that I used to go and do to different beats. I go to a different studio, and then they were like, all right, let's do something else. And I use one of those verses again, because that wasn't how I was supposed to be using my gift. Now I can sit down and write. I've got stacks of songs, and it just pours out. So I knew I knew I would like music. I knew I wanted to do music as a kid, but until I found my purpose in music, it didn't pour out like it's pouring out now.
Well, so to find that purpose after you got into recovery was when it became clear to you.
Exactly.
How long into that recovery process did it take still a little bit to come to that conclusion altogether that this is what I'm supposed to do and want to do, or?
Well, it was what I knew I wanted to do, and I felt that when I seen that light that we talked about earlier, that's what I was supposed to do, and I just didn't know how.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well, how am I going to do this and live and feed my children and things of that sort? Like, how is that going to work? So, that was a process, and it's been a learning process for all of these years, all 6 of these years coming till now. It's been a learning and, a patient, being patient with myself and with the process and meeting people and, the networking part of it. It's just being patient, instead of rushing like the drug addict me would have done.
Sure. So, now going into that then, you're giving back and, like your motto, I call it, bringing the light. And so maybe you could share with some of us then about that mission, your life work, your music, your artistry, and what are you doing with that to give back? And I know you do quite a bit of advocacy on various issues, from suicide prevention to bullying prevention, even bulimia.
Yes, we did.
That's interesting, and I'm assuming stuff around recovery as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So could you share some of that with us and what you've been doing?
Well, like you said, those are the things I've been doing, bully prevention, and I'm connected with a group out, Family Success by Design in LA. They just went global, so that's a good thing.
Wow.
We do stuff through them, different conferences, different state representatives have connected with us there, and there's a lot of things in the work. That's going to be great, and that's like bully/suicide, because they tie into each other big time. So it's a matter, for all of the different things I give back in, it's a matter of sharing love, and it's a matter of like just letting people know that somebody knows and somebody's listening and somebody cares, and that love, and letting other people know that aren't part of that love and I can't think of the word I want to look for. Just sharing, that peace and joy with one another and reaching out for each other can make the biggest difference in the world, and just because you haven't seen it or haven't been involved with it doesn't mean that you can't, and that's with that, the bulimia you've seen. I used to know a few people that dealt with that, so I got to see the process, and I got to see how they, felt like nothing was good enough, like that they would look great, and then they felt like they didn't look great. It was like they seen a totally different thing than I did, and people, one thing that somebody could say could turn up their whole day, one negative thing, and people don't realize that smile, you smiled at somebody that day, you told somebody, man, you look great today, they don't know, like, for some people that can mean a whole lot, that can mean life or death for some people, and, we take it for granted as humans, I think, and I'm noticing that, so I just want to share it, and that's what I do.
So even though so you've known people who've gone through bulimia, obviously you haven't yourself, but would you say there's common ground, going back to the root of recovery and addictions or whatever the issue may be? Would you say the common ground is the something's missing as far as feeling valued, or?
Yeah, and self-worth.
Self-worth.
It's like, I didn't know mine, and when I dealing with the people that I knew with bulimia, they didn't know theirs,
How did you come to find that self-worth, though? I mean, besides just with your music, because you could get caught up in that too, and always needing, like, I suppose a lot of celebrities and different people, not that they all do it, but get caught up in that validation from that,
Yeah.
Fame and everything else. So how do you stay grounded and not get caught up in that pattern and trap?
Right.
Too.
Totally understand
What's your
that.
foundation, and how do you keep from that?
Well, I'm a big guy on faith, and I have a one-on-one relationship, and I just, that's what brought me to where I am right now, and I stay rooted in that. I don't let a lot of these things and the exposure that's coming, I don't let that really get to me. What makes me happy is the joy that's brought out of it, and I then become thankful and happy that I'm allowed or I'm able and I'm here to do that, So I always take it back to the beginning, square one. I take it back to where I came from, and not just with this, but with life period, because life can take you down, like what you're saying too, you
Sure.
can get mad that you're not getting this, or mad that this isn't going your way, or mad that it's hard to pay rent in your house that you're living in when at one time you were in the Salvation Army, or one time, you forget about those things when you get to where you're going, and I just make sure I always keep that in the forefront, where I came from, and
Sure.
and that keeps me grounded, and it keeps me less soaked in what's going on now. I want to be soaked in what's going on now, but I want to remember, because if you don't remember, you can get lost.
And would you say then the giving back and all this that you're talking about is connected to gratitude?
Yes.
Of knowing
Oh,
where you
definitely.
were and where you are today, and how quickly any one of us could be back at a different place than where we are, yeah.
Yep.
So
It's very possible.
how would you describe your music, and who are some of your influences?
My music, it's really hard to put it in a lane. I would describe my music as inspirational, inspirational music. Royal, like I call it now, the Impact Records, we're on like this royal movement. Like we want all human beings to realize their royalty, like that they are royalty, that they deserve to do better. You deserve to be what you think you can. Like you deserve to chase your dreams. You deserve to catch them. You deserve to make your dreams reality. You deserve this. And so, with my music, I don't lean towards any it's a Christian rap or this. Like I don't lean towards any angle because I want to reach everybody.
Sure.
Like when they learn about me, they'll learn about what I believe and
Sure,
the things
yeah.
that think. But the main thing I want to do is inspire, and motivate people to get up and make it happen for themselves.
But as far as style, it's rap and
hip
hop and
R&B. I like all music, so we've touched in several different areas. I don't know if you heard, we remixed the band Perry's "If I Die Young." So
Yes.
we like all music, and so that's another lane. Like we'll be all over in different lanes and just doing what we do.
blues, some blues even.
Yep.
Country?
Country, that's their country.
Yeah,
Yep,
well,
and-
that's true. Yeah, that's something right. That's true.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll touch on a lot of different things. That's music-wise, but the main lane is hip hop and R&B. Michael Jackson, believe it or not, his depth on love, and sharing that was huge, and I heard it as even a kid. I remember listening to Man in the Mirror, like when I was in the car. I remember it vividly, being in the car at a gas station with my mom, and she went in the gas station to go get something, and the song came on, and I was crying. And I was a kid, and I don't know how I even understood to cry, but it was that much love in it, and it just inspired me to do that and be great and make people feel that good. He made people feel great. Like when he would go to shows, like people would just be smiling, excited, and happy, even fainting, but
Sure.
they felt good about themselves when he was around, it was crazy. And
So he would be one of your greatest,
yeah,
sounds like. Yeah.
And then when I was in the streets, I listened to Tupac a lot, and I got from him not what most of the people in the street would get from him. Like when I listened to his music, he made me want to stop doing what I was doing and get out of the street. He made me want to wake up. Like it was like he was telling me to wake up, man, get out of it. This isn't what life is about. You got it's better things out there. Even though a lot of his lyrics, a lot of his more glorified lyrics were the ones that were talking about shooting and things like that. But he was really deep. you know, and when I dug more into that, I found out that he was an advocate for that, you know, like they got a course in college on him now, and he was an amazing poet, and
Sure.
he's another one of my inspirations because he snuck it in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many other people that he reached like he did me, but
Yeah.
he snuck it in there, and you know,
Wow.
he inspired you to stop doing that while he was talking about doing it.
Wow,
It
that's
was
really interesting.
a cool
Yeah.
twist.
You have 3 albums out, or this is the 4th one?
This will be the one coming out will be the 4th one.
Will be the 4th one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so could you tell us, you know, just give us an overview of what My Purpose, what that was about, and then compared to Road Less Travel, and then leading up to where we are now?
Yes. My purpose kind of plays right into what I was telling you about when I seen the light. I found out my purpose, and that's what I was writing about. I wanted to tell everybody, oh my goodness, this is what I can do, and this is what I'm getting ready to do. You can do it too. Let's go. And I was talking about my faith really strong, and that one, you know, and that's, you know, my purpose was mainly about that. It was
so it's where you got started, and
Yeah.
that whole beginning of that transition for you, that revelation
Yeah.
in your life.
Mhm.
Okay, and then Road Less Traveled. What was that more
That was-
reflective on?
when I started realizing, you know, at that point when the first album, it was like, woo, this is gonna be great and easy. I'm just gonna follow my purpose. And then I realized that there was a lot of things that were gonna jump in my way when I was doing that, and that life was gonna be here too, you know, like, and it wasn't just gonna be that easy, you know. But to stand strong through it all, you know, and so that's where I came up with the Road Less Travel, because it a lot of people, including myself at one point in time in my life, give up on that road that's less traveled and rather just jump on the one that most people are traveling, like, whoo, this is way easier than trying to break down these barriers and make your point.
Yeah.
And so.
But you did do something about mothers too, single.
Yes, I dropped that. That's a leak from my album that's to come. We just leaked that on Mother's Day.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and it was a great track, and we were like,
I'm
let's put
assuming
a track out.
dedication to your mom.
Oh yeah, the first verse is
Okay.
like me talking to my mom, you know, and thanking her and telling her to enjoy the ride and the watching me successfully follow my dreams, you know.
Well, maybe before we get into Lionheart, maybe can we talk a little bit on that? So, your mom, you know,
Yes.
going through this whole journey and watching this with you, and as you know, as a mother,
Yeah.
how has your mother been? Has she expressed to you today her thoughts and feelings and about everything that's taken place and where you're at today? Have you had a real heart-to-heart conversation, or you just kind of know that you've done well and carried on? I mean, what is that like today, that dynamic?
Oh, she's expressed it. She expresses it every single day.
Very expressive.
To me, she's got a Facebook now, so she's on Facebook reposting every song about all of us, me and the whole team.
Sure.
Like she's heavily involved in it all, and she's more than ecstatic. You know, she's seen me at my lowest of lows. You know, she had to come visit me in the worst places, you know, Cook County Jail, 26 in California, the prison. She had to come visit me. She had to see me strung out on drugs and not understand. She had to be a victim of me stealing, you know, like, she had to be all those things, and she had to see all that and see her son poisoned, you know, and killing himself.
How did she get through it all this time? Did she ever share that with you?
She says praying.
Yeah.
Because that's all she could do.
Could think of,
you know, there
to
was
do?
nothing.
Okay.
She attempted to do the things she thought to help, and they became, sometimes would be enabling to me.
Oh,
But she,
sure.
you know, being a mom, it was like, I'm just caring for my son, and I'm gonna give him what he wants, and I'm like, woo, thank you, and I'm going off to go do worse.
So it's a
with
learning process. She now realizes too from her end.
Yes,
on
yes.
this. Yeah.
And she applies that in her life now as well too. So she learned a lot from the pain that we both went through.
And your grandparents, are they still alive?
No, they passed. And that back to what we were saying, that had a big part in everything too, because that was like, you know, I had my mom and then my grandparents. That was like my dad, you know, and my grandfather really, you know, he was I was there all the time. Like he was on me. He taught me a lot of things to this day that help me now in what I'm doing. You know, a lot of responsibility and a lot of constructive things in my life I'm applying now that he taught me. And they passed when I was 15.
Oh, so they haven't been able to witness anything
No.
like this now?
No,
Yeah,
they didn't get to see
okay.
any of this. They didn't see much of the bad either.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh.
they, you know, it was right.
Right,
Yeah.
along. Okay. Is that your mother's parents?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Cancer.
And cancer took them both?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
6 months apart.
Oh, wow.
I think my grandfather was depression mixed with cancer because
Sure.
we used to go on walks and he would just tell me like he didn't want to be here anymore, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And, you know, yeah.
Depression probably related
Yeah,
to the
he's
cancer?
like, "I want to be
Yeah.
with my wife," and so and it's not like he gave up.
Oh, sure.
So I think that's huge in any type of recovery, even physically. Like when you give up, your mind is very powerful.
Sure. More powerful than we realize.
Believe,
yeah,
right, yeah.
believe. What about your father? Have you ever been able to reconnect with that again?
Nope, I haven't.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. I haven't met him or seen him or anything.
Do you
like
know
that.
who he is?
Yeah, I got
You
a
do.
picture.
Oh, you do. Okay.
So,
Wow.
we'll see. Hopefully one day
Maybe someday.
he'll pop up.
Yeah.
We'll find him, and then I can find a little more about him and maybe even me
Yeah.
through
Okay.
that. So.
So you haven't shut the door on that anyway?
No, I'm
No,
not going to do
you're-
that. You know,
no.
I never know what the reasoning or anything. You know, I learned a lot from myself. You know, and I learned to be open to things and you know, don't just shut them out right away. So.
Try to be more open and not hold judgment because
Right.
who knows
What he was going through.
what was behind the root of why people do what they do a lot of times.
Exactly.
Nobody sets out to say, well, I'm going to start smoking rock or whatever so I can get addicted.
Right,
You know,
right,
it happens.
right.
And
Exactly.
it's quite a dynamic, and unless you've been through it or worked in the field, you know, it's not just cut and dry. You know that.
Right.
Black and white answers and how that happens. But so then you came to this current album, Lionheart, and it's much to do with positive messages with relationships, like with faith in God and
Yes, yes.
your children, yourself, and interestingly, with women.
Yes.
And so that's refreshing, especially in this genre of music.
Right.
You know, so that I'm really impressed with that. I don't care if it's this genre of music or rock or whatever, you know.
Definitely.
So I've always been strong on that, even back in the day with me and my time of going down different paths too in my life. But so why so much about that with the women on this album here?
As
all of a
far
sudden,
as,
with
like-
the reflectiveness on relationships and what you're looking for, or what even a good, healthy, solid relationship could be,
Right.
and really, to me, empowering women in
Yeah,
this music
definitely.
and having them lift their vision of, you know, searching for what can value them rather than devalue them. So, just how did this all come about to incorporate that in this particular
Well,
next move?
Yeah. My watch, you know, like, and my growth, you know. When I first started, I thought I had to talk about this and I had to keep focused in this area to be doing what I'm doing. You know, the next album, I realized that there was things I had to fight with. And this album, I'm realizing that I can see what's going on and I can talk about it. Like, I'm realizing the power of being an artist, you know, and I can speak what I believe, and you know, and I definitely have a daughter, so you know,
Sure.
I want her to use and apply those values in her life. And there's so many young women out there, and in the past couple years, things have just flushed, especially in the hip hop world, and the people that listen, it's just flushed down the drain. Like the women are like, it's almost cool to not respect yourself. You know, it's cool to be called the names that shouldn't even be, you know,
Sure.
names. I'm trying to look.
Sure.
I can't say the names or what they say right now.
Beep,
So,
beep, beep.
right. So it goes back to that uplifting, and it goes back to me figuring out myself as an artist and how I can deliver that on a wide spectrum, you know, and I can hit all those things I want to hit without people looking. And a lot of it is coming to not really worrying about those people that I encountered on the road less traveled, you know, because I've had shows canceled before. You know, I had a show that was, I called it Contagiously Cool for Christ, and I had a Christian organization, the people that funded that, like, not the organization, but the people that funded the organization, canceled it because they felt like my life wasn't good enough to hold a show that with that title. And
good enough?
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right, I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah.
weird. And so, you know, I had to wiggle out of the bars of being in a box, you know,
Yeah,
like
okay.
I don't want to be in a box.
Right.
You know, I want to reach as many people as possible, and I want to
Sure.
I want to get a positive message out there about relationships, about love, about women respecting themselves, about young guys not going into drugs and gangs, and young women not doing the same thing, because we had those out there too.
Right.
You know, so I'm just gonna do it. You know,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's,
Now, your label, Impact Records. I love what it stands for. So can you kind of explain that, break that down, and
Yes.
how you got that going?
Impact Records, irresponsible mistakes proven as creative testimony. That just comes from like the core of it, and it comes from like with what me, you know, like I'm taking my mistakes, my irresponsible mistakes, and I'm proving that they can be used as creative testimony for the world, you know, and I feel like everybody can do that, you know,
Sure.
like not just me, you know, not just the people on my team, everybody, you know, anybody can do that, and so that's what we push, and that's what we that's our motto.
So it's a record label. So who else is
Yes.
who are producing under that label?
I have Zachariah. He's an
Zachariah.
amazing dancer. He's here today.
Okay.
You know, he's an amazing dancer and a vocalist. And then we have Church Master. Now, this,
Yeah, what is that? I know somebody else.
Oh, that's funny. So he whistles, but it's like he's talking, or it's like he's rapping when he whistles. Like
Oh,
we
interesting.
can turn on a beat, and he can.
I think I might have.
Yeah, he just goes right on top of it, and it's amazing. I've never seen it before, and nothing like it. You know.
Talk about artistry and creativity.
Yeah.
Out of the box. Yeah.
And
Okay.
So that he's a DJ, and he also did, and that's what he does too. And it's like when we're on stage and he does that, like the crowd goes crazy.
I bet.
Because at first they're like,
Oh, God.
they're like, he just did that, and then
Yeah.
they just freak out and they go wild. So
Wow.
it's cool, man, and it's different.
Sounds like you have some women. I heard on some of the tracks.
Well, we have a couple people that we're looking at,
Okay.
and that we want to join, and we'll see
Okay.
how that goes. But we did connect with a young lady named Jessica Jackson. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's
She
she's got a
is.
voice, and we
Yeah.
are looking to get her on the team, because
Okay.
she's got an amazing voice.
Yeah.
And,
In the meantime, she obviously she did a couple of tracks
Yes,
with you.
she
Yeah.
did. She did.
Just on this particular album? or-
Yes, just on
Yeah,
this. And this is the
one. Okay.
mixtape. Yeah, she just did that.
How did you find her?
Actually, through Zachariah.
Through Zachariah,
He does a
okay.
lot of online stuff. He's got about 100,000 followers on
Wow.
Vidi, and
Sure.
and then he does a lot of internet. He's good at that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's like, hey,
She's
you got to
not-
check her out.
From here too?
No,
The
she's in
Midwest?
Pennsylvania,
Oh,
I think,
Pennsylvania.
yep.
Okay. Okay.
We got one more.
Yeah. Oh, one more.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we got Billy Dean. He's
Okay.
he's the producer. He's a vocalist, and he's the head producer. Like he makes all the beats, and he mixes down and masters the tracks, and he also raps and sings as well.
Okay.
So, and he was signed to MCA years
Oh.
back, but you know he's got a story like mine.
Okay.
You know, where you know the street life kind of grabbed a hold of him, and it snatched him away from all the things that he had. And I went to Portland and for audition for a movie, and we both performed at the same church that weekend. And
Yeah, tell us about that. So you're starting to get into acting, and is that where it started? Was it this gig in Portland, or
that was my
first?
first audition.
Okay, audition. Anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my first audition. It started about a little over a year ago. I met a woman named Evelyn, and she's the owner of Yuma Films, and she heard about what I do, and we talked about what I do, and she said, you know, I'm going to work with you. And I was like, okay. You know, and she was like, no, I'm going to work with you. I was like, all right. And then 6 months later, I got a message like, I told you I was going to work with you. Here's a script. Read it over and let me know what you. I was like, oh, she is going to work with me. So, yeah, so I went for that. I landed that one. That one's under construction still, but then she brought more to the table. So now we got another movie in the works, and I got a couple film things.
What is the role? With
the role, there's actually a hip-hop artist in the movie.
Okay,
So,
okay.
and
okay.
I'm actually going to be his producer, most likely. We'll see.
Okay.
Because there's two different roles that I can end up with in this movie.
Okay.
So,
Would you say your stronger love is in the music?
in the music? Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
And like even with this movie, I'm doing the soundtrack song on that. You know, like I'm putting that together. Like music, it ties into that for me. Like
sure.
I sent them the
Perfect
song.
role.
Yeah, and I told them, well, this is what I seen in the movie at these parts when I was writing the song. You know, so music is definitely that's
always will be number one for you.
passion,
Yeah, but you definitely want to get more into acting too.
Yeah.
Is there other things that you think you might want to expand into that you thought about?
Well, you know, we talk about a lot about how drug court like helped me and things of that sort. So, you know, as we expand and as we get bigger, we have hopes to open up like things like that. You know, things that can help people, something that they can go into and have a structured kind of like what we all did. You know, like just a structure that can apply to their life, that they can go through and get help and you know.
So obviously right now though you're into some type of advocacy and activism with that through your music and speaking, but you'd like to take that
to the next level,
to even the next level. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that will always probably be a strong part of you besides your music. It goes hand in hand.
Oh yeah. That's
will always be.
definitely.
Yeah, on that level. Okay. Well, what about what do your kids think about all that you're doing?
Well, they love it.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy to see him. My son, he knows like all the words to my songs before I do.
Wow.
Well, I'll record them and we'll listen to it in the car. I'm trying to memorize them because I write so fast that I record. I don't even know the words. And then he'll make fun like I know your words before you do. I got them. It's like goodness. If you've seen the Go Get It video, he was in that, and you can see he knows the words.
Yeah.
And he's got the.
Think he might follow down that path?
Oh yeah, he's working on it. I told him school's first, and he's got to make sure he's get those good grades, and then we can definitely have his album, and we can do the same things.
Too.
Yeah, he can do the same things, but and he's doing it. He's proved it. He's getting good grades. So.
That's cool. Your tribute to veterans, and I've done a lot of stuff with veterans and their families. My father is a veteran, so is there a connection with you towards veterans, or if not, how did this come about that you did this tribute for them?
Well, several of my family members.
They are?
Yes, are. So
okay.
My grandfather he was in the Navy. My uncle, he passed on, he was in the Navy. My other uncle, he's in the Army. And I just, you know, there's a high level of respect there, you know, like, and for what they do and what they go through, not just them, but their families. And, you know, I just, you know, when I have that passion, that respect, and I just want to share it, you know. And it's, even when I just watch the movies, like, I just went to see the latest one with Mark Wahlberg. What's the name of that?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name, though, right?
And it's based on a true story as well. And it was, man, it just really,
Was any of your relatives a Vietnam veteran?
Yes, my uncle.
Your uncle is in Vietnam. Okay. Have they talked to you about any of their experiences, or is it just general knowledge, you know, that they served?
He talked to me about it, you know, like, and he tells me about, especially when I got lost on the streets, he really got mad because he's like, "You think this is war?" Like, like he would get on me and let me know like this is not war, you know, like you idiots out here with guns, like. He would get mad, but he told me, you know, about what he went through, and like sometimes, you know, what it felt like being gone, you know, and like I talked, you know, his daughter, we're close, we're cousins, and you know, I experienced like what their dad's gone or her dad's gone, you know, like for that long a time, you know. But he's not dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But you know, just you know, it was, I guess, a general conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and
covering some of the dynamics of how it affects family and
yeah,
and then obviously what they may have seen or gone through, you know.
and just doing my own research, you know.
Okay.
And I did a lot of research on that, you know, online, you know, watching interviews and.
Where did you get the footage from that video tribute that you made in the beginning?
Yeah, there. Where was what site was that? I don't remember the site.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I sent them a message, and
Yeah.
that was some amazing footage. I was like,
Yeah, it
oh, it
was.
was perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I found out that it's very hard to record on a camp, like Camp Randall or any place like that. It's a big process,
Okay.
and I wanted to have that song come out before the process would have been over. So my plan is to like actually re-record that.
Oh.
You know, I wanna. There's a big event in LA, veteran event, that I'm connected to the people that do that, and if I can connect with anybody else, since we're sitting here,
Intent.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we can
Sure.
put something like that together.
Your relatives that are veterans, so when you did this tribute, what did they think?
Oh, they
about-
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they loved it.
How did they react to it?
My uncle, he barely ever types on any social networks, you know, like, well, that I see, but.
Oh, he just probably like.
Right, he
went
went
out everywhere.
I was like, yes, I got him to actually say something. So
Yeah.
he did, and I talked to him on the phone after that, and then he talked to my son too, because my son was learning about that in school. So
Oh, good.
they
What
probably,
a multi-generational bridging of the gap.
yeah,
Because of that tribute, too. Wow.
So he probably actually learned a lot more than I did from when he talked to him on the phone. So
Yours.
my son,
Yeah. What did your son think about it then, from like, you know, his generation, young person with veterans? I mean, how did he connect then with that?
from what he's really into that. Like
Okay.
we sat up and watched We Were Soldiers, and like it's like he wants to learn more about it. He's really.
Wow, that's
it
great.
interests him, and so.
Yeah, I was really moved by that. So I want to thank you personally for that too.
Thank you for telling me that.
But now I was wondering, maybe you could leave with us maybe some feedback and thoughts to maybe someone who's watching who want to aspire and do what you're doing in your life today, not just music-wise, but even what message could you leave with people who are struggling as you had at one time, and to give them maybe some hope or encouragement on that?
To know their self-worth, to know that they are royalty, as I spoke earlier, you know, to know that they deserve whatever they think they want. You know, like they deserve it and they can get it, but you just have to go for it. You cannot back down. No matter what's up in front of you, you have to just keep going for it. And no matter who tells you it's crazy or it's not possible or it can't happen, you got to go right through them and keep going and just get it. You know, you got to go get it. You know, dreams are reality waiting to happen.
Sure.
And that's a fact for me here. I'm
And
living proof.
You're living
we go.
proof, right? And what about somebody, you know, who's going through the addiction aspect right now, and it's like, I don't see the purpose, and I don't, you know, what would be some, you know, coming from that perspective and not just pursuing your dream, but
Right. Well, again, it goes back to self-worth, and it goes back to
always goes back to that anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
and knowing that they want something better than that. I mean, I know in my point that I was feeling like worthless, and I didn't want anything, you know, like, but to pretty much die because it was that bad, you know. You got to reach out. You got to reach out. You got to the places, the programs, all those things help. You know, they're not just there for no reason. You might go there and 10 of the things out of the 12 didn't even apply to you, but that's okay. Those 2 did, and then while you were sitting there, you probably helped somebody else with what you said. You know, so what I would say is to just get out there, do what you don't want to do. You know, like all the things that you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and apply yourself. You know, like apply yourself and apply the things that you learn. You know, and
And like you said earlier, big key, get around people who care about you enough to tell you the truth.
There you go.
Because their intention is because they care about you and want to see the best, rather than in with the wrong crowd who, you know, even if they don't mean to, can't support you in the way that you need, you know.
Yes.
So
and people that aren't using, like that maybe have never used, and the people that have long terms of clean sobriety. You know, I don't really advise hanging out with a bunch of people that all have 1 month clean. Like,
oh, sure.
You know, like not
somebody
without
with
anybody.
long term, or somebody like you said who's never used. And you know, going back to that point too for a minute, that you know, to know that even people who never used doesn't mean you can never connect or relate with them and learn from them.
And they can learn from you.
And that they can't be authentic and genuine with you just because they don't know or may have never been there. And you don't know what they've gone through either. And it may not be the drinking and the drugging, but there might be, you know, other things.
Bulimia, you know, there's several different things.
Several different things, or pain is pain and hurt is hurt. And, you know, different experiences, but the common ground is, you know, the process, the hurt through it all. It's all, that's all the same. And that's where we can come and support and have empathy with one another through that. So, but, so we, it's an hour already.
Really?
Yeah, but tried to cover as much as we could. But this Lionheart, that was the only one, truthfully, that I've been able to hear so far, and I love it. And the three that got to go back over and listen to it again, but that stood out to me is Go Get It, Mirror, Sticking to It, and Not Tonight are my faves so far.
Okay.
So, but I love the whole thing.
All right.
So, we're honored that you came to be on my show today.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and getting ready to go, like I told you, overseas and a bunch of things. And when I come back, you're going to be gone. But I just felt your story was so inspiring and powerful that whatever it took, even, what is it, below, 0 today?
I think
we're all going to be crazy enough to come here and do it anyway, but you're worth it. Your story's worth it.
Thank you.
And, yeah, I am honored that you came to be on our show. And I'm proud of you. I don't even really know you, but I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you
and
very
what
much.
you're doing, and grateful for that. And so, everybody, if you want to learn more about Mario Street and his latest album, and even his past albums, and his advocacy, and all his other work that he's been doing, you can go to our website at tsio.org, and this show will be archived on the website, as well as more information and links back to some of his social media pages as well.
Correct.
So again, you've been watching the Thuy Smith Show, and thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you next time.
Impact Records, Lionheart, baby. It's been a long time. Come a long way. It's because of you. They looking, I don't think they see what I see. A vision of a born king, soaring, holding the secrets. The ones missing from attention, not paying the inner given power. The night has risen hours, days, nights, weeks, and months they pass by. I was empty from the ride, you still rode with me by my side when I'd hide. The realization was with you, walking right next to me, true, knowing that I was a fool. Black and blue from the beatings, dodging all inspired greetings and leaking from shots fired at my soul. I wasn't thinking, drugged out, drinking, waking up, hearing your voice. Are you done? Yet you said I just wrote it off as noise.
Middle of the road, here we are again. Through my rise and fall, with me you took a stand.
looking at me winking. No, no, not down with cheating. No, no, not down with creeping. I done did it before, but no, not no more. I'm grown, enjoying my weekend. Not tonight. Girl, you got a man right by your side. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm thinking that your weekend scandalous and so deceiving. I done did it before, but no, not no more. I'm grown, enjoying my weekend. I see you standing over there, winking, thinking I'm on what it is that you own. Your man right next to you, though. Oh, oh no, I'm gone. Mistakes not making no more. How many man, girl, you done reached for? Your poor man don't know you're lethal, illegal, deceitful. Why don't you try just being single or faithful? Your angle, don't give me that you're not able. This table will be empty real quick, cause I'm about to move swiftly. Stop looking over here trying to tempt me. I got a girl at home that miss me completely. See, simply, I'm a grown man now and I'm happy. Takes more than a smile to attract me. 10 years ago you probably would've had me. Sadly, I done crossed the line. Learn my lesson now, so I stay on my side. Never dressing out, so I gotta stay in line. Got the best at home and I know she mine. Heart full of gold and I can't explain. I find the definition of what we got is divine. Like age wine, it takes time. If I break the bottle, it's gone. What I've waited for so long. I was weak, but now I'm strong. Got a lady waiting at home. What I want with something so wrong. You look fine tonight, but you got a man standing right. I got a grind won't stop, hustle won't quit. Dream like no other, I catch 'em, I don't miss. I got a miracle lifestyle, rising real quick. Elevation, there's no replacing. My aviation is displaying. Go, get it, stay about my business. If you ain't with me while you're in it, flossing until I finish. I say go, get it, only spit the realest. They guessing while I'm catching the faces when I'm addressing.
Call me the mayor, I'm running cities, conveyor. They running with me, give me the gift of man. Many try, but I move too quickly, swiftly sauteing the world with my style. I'm soaking in, born to win. A spirit-filled soldier, it has all begin. Understand, my life is just like a slideshow that I know that I